in the shadows where justice burns. Tiff and the Punisher. Rise. Street lights flicker, the city's on fire. Tiff walks the line with a cold desire. Punisher's shadow, the hammer falls hard. No mercy for evil, they're playing their card. Through the alleys of pain and the rivers of blood, they hunt down the guilty, they're the judge and the flood. But every war needs a mind that can see, a voice in the chaos that cuts to the core. Tiff and the Punisher carving the night, punishing sinners beneath the pale light. Becca steps in with that smart-ass grin, brainiac queen, always right from within. She's figuring out the world one fact at a time, calling out the lies with a razor-sharp mind. You think you're clever? Watch me prove you wrong. Becca's in the mix, and the truth marches on. Becca's the spark in the tactical storm. Smart-ass remarks that keep the whole team reformed. Equations and evidence, she's cracking the code, while the Punisher's bullets write the final ode. Tiff holds a line with the fearless command. Together they're unstoppable, a punishing band. Becca won't rest till the puzzle is solved. She's right every time and the problem's resolved. When the world's gone mad and the answers won't bend, she'll dissect the chaos and break it again. Smart-ass brainiac, queer the fight. Tiff and the Punisher on the night. Tiff and the Punisher carving the night, punishing sinners beneath the pale light. Becca steps in with that smart-ass grin, brainiac queen, always right from within. She's figuring out the world one fact at a time, calling out the lies with a razor-sharp mind. You think you're clever? Watch me prove you wrong. Becca's in the mix, and the truth marches on. Tiff and the Punisher. Becca's got the answers. Justice never sleeps. They are taking our kids every day. A child a minute, no one has a thing to say. For those who have been isolated, don't be worried, you have a voice today. So listen up, everyone, here is the story. Child Protective Services is real. CPS is what they call it. They want our kids because it fills a lot of people's wallets. We all think it won't be taking no one today. We are educated. Stay calm, step away, CPS, you need to leave. I know the tricks up your sleeves. Yeah, you can't do what you're trying to do. We have done our homework. Don't do a damn thing without a warrant. You no longer will steal our kids this way. Tiff and the Punisher have come for the calling. They are giving us the CPS warning. Their voice is loud and clear. We stop losing our kids this year. Tiff wants to fight the entire planet. She is tired of our kids being taken. Goddamn it, she's been fighting CPS for 30 years, bringing children home from this disgusting mess. The Punisher screaming out loud about a CPS and tear it down. I want all our kids to come back. Look at all those kids' pictures held up by Tiff Tac. Together we are stronger than we need. We will tear down CPS with hot speed. We will do so much being together. Birds of a feather flock together. So watch out, CPS, here we come, picking you off one by one. We promise to bring back the family and prosecute the caseworkers unhandily. So give us back the kids you have taken. Tiff and the Punisher sending you all on a vacation. The one with bars in the windows and the only games you play on Nintendo. Corruption in court, here we come. We won't stop until it's done. You judges need to learn what you stand for. This is Tiff and the Punisher warrior. We cry out to all of you out there. We need support for a cause that many don't care. All children are being stolen away too often. So CPS, we plan on doing the stopping. Now stop!
What's up, Tiff?
Well, it's been an exhausting day.
Sure has.
And it's still raining. It's going to rain all the way to Thursday.
It's nice and sunny here today. We had a nice
I tell
hot
you what,
day.
people here in Virginia are going to need rowboats soon because that's how much water we've gotten.
Wow, that's a lot of water.
That is a lot of water. My poor sub pump, the poor thing, we have two of them and they're just going nonstop.
Let's go. Wah, 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 wah. Well, you know what? When that stops, you better start getting the buckets. You don't want that. You don't want that. So, do we have any updates?
Actually, we do. So I served school board today. I served the principal today. He was actually shocked what has all transpired. So I told him everything that I needed. I got what I needed, except for the stuff they had to go look up. And he actually called me back today and said that he had the paper, the sign in, sign out, and it definitely said doctor's appointment on it. He has the email that the teacher sent me about him punching a student for touching his arm, where I replied, "Thank you for the update. He went to the doctor today and the doctor said he was fine." So once again, all this stuff transpired on the 18th. And in the meantime, I'm sitting there and the CPS worker is going to text me and say she hasn't heard from my lawyer, that she leaves at 4:30 today. And I responded with his information and these words, contact my lawyer. So I guess now we're going to see what happens because I have nothing to lie about.
Right. Well, I put up the bullshit detector there, if you haven't noticed. Because for her to say that she hasn't heard from your lawyer is an outright lie.
Yeah. He contacted her on Friday.
Right. Multiple times, I believe. So,
So
I'm just so excited to find out who and where and how this even came about, because I know that we're going to find out that it was retaliation.
yep.
And I thought that I was going to have to buy the RV with my lawsuit, but I think that we might have to split it with yours. Someone's in trouble. That all
And I
being
did
said,
tell him,
mm-hmm,
I told him there will be repercussions and accountability.
mm-hmm,
And he looked me dead in my face and said, I absolutely know how much you care about him.
mm-hmm. There's no question about that. I mean, the fact alone that your grandma that took over the kids from a failing situation from someone else in your family and made them your own and welcomed your house, and now you have them full time and they're adopted and all of that stuff. So there's no question. I mean, no one, if you didn't care about them, you wouldn't do it, and you do it under kinship, which means that you get
Thank
this
you.
for them. So clearly, it's more about caring than it is anything else. So for anybody to say anything less is just asinine. Um, so I mean, that's proofs in the pudding. That's whatever that means. That's what it is. Um, but hey, we got Becca here. She's going to explain a little bit of stuff about your case today because it's Tuesday, the Smart Lady night. Let's bring Becca out here. Becca, don't she leave already again? This is a full show. We have to be on.
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay, good. Look at the
I was
size. Look at
focusing.
the detector going. Becca's talking.
Hey, listen here, Linda. I got you. You and your American flag shirt over there.
Yeah, I am.
So what is under your name? Does that say OG?
Yeah,
Yeah, I always leave it when Darren makes it.
yeah.
I love that. That is awesome. But go ahead. Tell us what you learned.
So, what I learned yesterday about the criminal and civil malicious prosecution Tiff brought up. There is a difference, but there's a strategic way to use it in family court. It's a little bit. I'm sorry, I'm waiting on this. Okay, so related concepts, but they do rise from different kinds of underlying proceedings and require different elements. So it says that they come on. My computer has it's running low on space. Criminal malicious prosecution. This happens when someone intentionally causes a criminal case to be brought against another person without probable cause and with malice. So there's some examples. Someone knowingly files a false police report. A prosecutor or officer pushes charges despite lack of evidence, or the accused is later acquitted, or the case is dismissed. Now, the elements of it says most jurisdictions require proof of criminal proceeding was initiated, the defendant initiated or continued it, there was no probable cause, the action was motivated by malice, the criminal case terminated in the plaintiff's favor, and damages occurred. So typical defendants would be like police officers, detectives, CPS, acting as quasi-criminal prosecutors though prosecutors often have absolute immunity. Um, they can face jail time, attorney's fees, emotional distress, and loss of employment, reputation damage, and constitutional violations. Major constitutional overlap. Criminal malicious prosecution frequently overlaps with the Fourth Amendment unlawful seizure claims and 14th due process claims and 1983 civil rights actions. Then that gives case law for that, Thompson versus Clark. And then it says civil malicious prosecution involves the wrongful use of civil court system instead of criminal charges. Some examples: filing a knowingly false custody action, filing fraudulent protection orders. So this is for like family. This is for family court. Filing sham lawsuits or to harass someone, and using dependency proceedings for retaliation or leverage. Generally, a prior civil action was filed. The action lacked probable cause. The action was initiated with malice or improper purpose. The prior action terminated favorably to the accused party, and damages resulted. So the big difference is that, like a malicious criminal, the criminal side is using it in a criminal case, but the civil malicious is underlying in the civil case, obviously.
Sure.
The criminal side does police and prosecutors, and then the other side's the private party. Can involve jail arrest on the criminal side. On the civil side, usually financial or reputation harm. The criminal side, strong constitutional overlap, and then the civil side is more abusive process oriented and frequently tied to 1983 in the criminal, and then often state court claims in the civil. Now, it does say that related claims, it says that people confuse the abusive process with malicious prosecution. But abusive process is people malicious focus on wrongfully starting the case. Abusive process focuses on using a legitimate case for an illegal purpose. So, like filing custody motion solely to financially destroy a parent, to take somebody down, financially. Using CPS threats to coerce compliance, filing contempt motions to harass rather than seek lawful relief. You can sometimes sue for both. This is where it becomes, but here's the thing that I was reading as well. It said that the family court system in the CPS context, it kind of becomes complicated. It says that oh God, I found that many courts resist malicious prosecution claims arising from like the CPS, dependency proceedings, custody litigation, guardian ad litem recommendations. Courts often classify participants as having quasi-judicial immunity, prosecutorial immunity, qualified immunity, and litigation privilege. However, immunity is not absolute in every circumstance. Potential exceptions can arise where fabricated evidence exists, knowingly false affidavits were used, material facts are intentionally concealed, perjury/fraud upon the court occurred, officials acted outside jurisdiction, and or were unconstitutional seizure removals occurred. Then it says strategically, a lot of people think that the court ruled against me, so that's a malicious prosecution. That alone is not enough. You generally deliberate falsification, they knowingly deceived you, absence of probable cause, improper motive, weaponization of the process, and intentional misconduct. Bad judgment is not automatically malicious prosecution. Fraud plus misuse of state power is where the claims become serious. In CPS cases specifically, potential malicious prosecution theories often center on knowingly false dependency allegations, fabricated safety plans, false drug allegations, misleading ex parte filings and omissions in affidavits, unconstitutional removals, and retaliatory investigations. But federal courts are cautious because they do not want to become super family courts. That is why many successful federal claims are framed instead as unlawful seizure, procedural due process, substantive due process, fabrication of evidence, judicial deception, and Mon-El policy /custom claims rather than simply malicious prosecution. Now it does say it goes into it because So CPS has its own, like CPS and family court are different. Like no matter what anybody believes or says, they literally are different. How they are structured is different. They don't operate the same way. Dependency proceeding is going to be like CPS. Now, family court would be custody. So even though they kind of blur those lines, they're still different. One is the state brings it, the other one is a private action brings it. So it says that the strategy changes because of legal structure, immunities, and state involvements are completely different. A custody dispute between two private parties is not treated the same as a state driven dependency/CPS action. That distinction matters enormously. In dependency cases, this is where malicious prosecution theories become more powerful, but also more complicated, because dependency proceedings involve state actors, government investigations, removals of children, court ordered restrictions, and constitutional protections. This creates possible exposure under, the federal laws in 1983 and unlawful seizure doctrine. Strategic use and dependency cases build the record for later federal litigation. Most people make the mistake of arguing CPS lied. That's not enough. The strategy is prove deliberate state misconduct. You build evidence showing knowingly false affidavits, all this stuff that you have to do. Malicious prosecution framework helps establish absence of probable cause, malice, intentional misuse of state power. That will later then feed, if you go and sue under 1983, that will feed that. Attack the initial remover. This is the pressure point. In dependency court, the initial emergency removal is everything. If the original removal was unconstitutional, the entire proceeding may become tainted. Strategically, this means focusing on ex parte affidavits, emergency orders, warrantless removals. A child removal can constitute a Fourth Amendment seizure. Important authorities, blah, blah, blah. Use it to defeat immunity. This is critical. Government actors often claim qualified immunity for prosecutorial immunity and quasi-judicial immunity, but immunity weakens when you can show fabrication, perjury, and knowingly false statements and acting outside statutory authority and investigative misconduct rather than procedural functions. You wouldn't be merely arguing they were wrong. You'd be arguing they knowingly used falsehoods to invoke state power against a family. That's a very different legal posture. Then it goes on about strategic use in family court. Which I don't have to go into all that, but because that's a whole other level of.
Can that be put up on our website for people to read? I think that's good information, and I'm really glad that my dad said that. Plus, can you send that to me?
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure I'm going to need all that.
Yep, I sure can. I mean, I found how to use it, how to beat it, or how to everything that you got to do to just make it so it's right. People don't. You can realize you can say, "Oh, they're corrupt," but what good does that do? I mean, saying it. Yeah, you got to have the proof that that it needs change, that there's something wrong. Yeah, they're corrupt. We all know that, but that's not a legal stance as to they're corrupt.
So Lewis and Susie ask, how does this work in a probate court?
Well, evil family. I mean, hold on, I'll look. Let's see what I can find for probate court. Come on. You guys can continue and I'll look that up and then get back to you when it's done.
Okay, just let me know. So damn, that sounds
like it's you.
Well, not just me. It sounds like an awful lot of our parents.
Yeah.
Right? Warrantless removals. I'm pretty sure that's what she said.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a seizure under the Fourth Amendment.
Mm-hmm.
And CPS telling you, well, you better sign this safety plan or we're going to take your kids into custody. That's not how it works.
No, and you have the right to doctor your own kid, which you did.
Right.
So there should have been no mandated reporting at all. It's your responsibility, your right as the guardian or parent or whatever it is that you are, but you are the responsible adult in this situation. You did what you were supposed to do. You got the medical attention. It wasn't it wasn't imminent danger before. He wasn't going to die. There was no sirens and explosives and all of this stuff going on. So that was an extreme misuse of power, is of what I would say, and a
Mm-hmm.
retaliation point for
Overreach.
whoever did that. They were hoping that you were going to be off your guard, that maybe they could snag them up for the 3 day long weekend, put you into a shelter care hearing or something like that, and they're obviously idiots, not realizing who you are. Um, and I think that's what that was all based on. It was just the fact that they thought they could get you, you know?
Yeah. And even people, I even told people today, I said, I have my whole list of the 99% of the people I know here are mandated reporters. I said, you all get ready, because if they proceed, we're taking this to court and you will be testifying.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Tiffany, it's not going to get that far. See, yeah, you don't know that.
Yep, you do. And I'm glad you brought up the testifying things. I think I just talked about this with Becca, right? Wasn't that you, Becca? I was talking to. If people are worried
Yeah.
about cross-examining, like when you get to the courts and if you get to that point, or when you get to that point, make sure that your attorney puts your caseworkers on your witness list, because then you don't have to just worry about cross-examining. You can actually ask the tough questions that you want to ask. Because you don't get that opportunity in a cross-examine. All you get to ask is responses to the questions that they've already asked. So you don't get to bring up new information and say this, that, or this when you cross-examine. However, if you put them on your witness list to be called, then you can ask these people the questions that you want to ask.
That's if they do it in a, but see, that's more, and that's where it gets confusing, because that's a little bit more criminal per se. Because, like I said, when we talked about this the other night, I was telling you, like, in my whole situation, like the only time that I was able to cross examine a caseworker was at the initial removal hearing, and I didn't have a lawyer at that point.
Well, we were able to at the
So
TPR hearing and a couple of the hearings up here. We were definitely.
yeah, see, so it's different, state to state, obviously, because I'm sitting here like I have no attorney. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I mean, of course, the caseworker's sitting on the stand. Well, I'm not just going to let her sit there and get away with it. I want to know the answers to these questions, which then it was a little bit different, because then it wasn't just based on what CPS's attorney had already asked. I got to ask whatever the hell I wanted,
Yeah.
and she had to answer. So, I mean, so I can see how it can work, but I mean, in like family court, it's a little bit different. It's not as restrained as criminal court, I guess it should say. Because there was no witness list, or you know what I mean, like, because at that point,
There definitely should be.
yeah,
So my dad was like, if they're trying to say that it's abuse and neglect, or medical abuse and neglect, whatever the case may be, where is the warrant for your arrest? Those are crimes, Tiffany. I said, I know,
mm-hmm,
Dad. I said, if they
mm-hmm,
take this to the prosecutor's office, the prosecutor is going to say, there's no case here. She took him to the
mm-hmm,
doctor. She signed him out with the doctor's appointment. She emailed the teacher. When the teacher emailed her, she responded that she took him to the doctor. They cannot criminally charge me for anything. And that's when
no,
he said, malicious prosecution. And I said, it's not
mm-hmm,
a crime. He said, it doesn't matter. It's both civil and criminal.
mm-hmm,
Yep. That's,
yep, and you can use it.
Yep. I said,
I mean,
what? Oh, we got to look into this.
mhm, yeah. I mean, it can be used. I mean, 100%. And then I did find the information for the probate court, which was a little interesting.
Mm-hmm. What's that say?
So that says malicious process and abusive process in probate court. Probate court is often a battlefield. It becomes, family conflict, fiduciary law, property rights, guardianship, competency determinations, estate administration, and elder exploitation issues. Strategically, probate cases are often more vulnerable to abusive process, fraud upon the court, fiduciary misconduct than any malicious prosecution claims. Why? Because probate litigation frequently involves technicality or techniques being weaponized property, inheritances, incapacitated persons, children's trust, and estates. The core strategic difference in probate is, though, that in criminal court, liberty is targeted. Dependency court, parental rights and custody are targeted. In probate court, control is targeted. Control over assets, medical decisions, estates, trust, guardianship, elderly individuals, and incapacitated adults. That actually changes the litigation strategy. Where malicious prosecution arises in probate court is in false guardianship proceedings. This is one of the biggest abuse areas nationwide. Example, someone files for guardianship claiming a person is incompetent. They exaggerate dementia or incapacity. The goal is asset control, isolation, or inheritance leverage. Potential claims later: malicious prosecution, abusive process, elderly exploitation, civil conspiracy, and fiduciary breach, especially if medical evidence was fabricated, evaluations were manipulated, isolation occurred, rights were denied, and emergency guardianship was abused. Fraudulent estate litigation. Uh, some examples: knowingly false will contests, fake creditor claims, forged amendments, concealment of heirs, and fraudulent fiduciary accountings. Again, abusive process is often stronger than malicious prosecution. Why? Because the probate litigants often technically have standing to file something, even if the motive is corrupt. That issue becomes misuse of the court process. Weaponized emergency filings. This happens constantly in probate court. Emergency guardianship, emergency conservatorship, temporary restraining orders, asset freezes, and ex parte protective orders. Strategically, the emergency filing itself can cause catastrophic damage before the truth is ever examined. This parallels dependency court. Uh, the initial emergency order becomes the leverage point. Probate court's biggest problem is fiduciary shielding. Probate courts heavily rely on guardians, GALs, fiduciaries, executors, attorneys, and evaluators. Courts often defer to these actors. They create systemic risk because once the court labels someone incapacitated, incompetent, in need of guardianship, the accused person may effectively lose financial autonomy, legal autonomy, medical autonomy, and communication rights, sometimes without meaningful due process. So some strategic claims in probate court would be abuse of process, and that's actually the strongest one. Um, some examples would be guardianship filed to seize property, competency claims used for inheritance leverage, repeated filings to financially exhaust family members, and misuse of restraining orders to isolate elders. That kind of sounds like Henry's whole shebang that he has going on. Um, Fraud upon the court, massive in probate, especially involving forged wills, false physician statements, manipulated competency evaluations, concealed assets, falsified inventories, and undisclosed conflicts of interest. Probate courts rely heavily on sworn fiduciaries' honesty. Once fraud enters, the entire proceeding can become tainted. Breach of fiduciary duty. This is often the real nuclear weapon in probate litigation. Guardians, trustees, executors, conservators, and attorneys owe fiduciary duties if they self deal, conceal assets, misuse funds, isolate wards, act against beneficiaries. They can face surcharge actions, removal, personal liability, and punitive damages. Probate and constitutional issues. This is where things are getting interesting. This is where things get interesting. Most people do not realize probate courts can implicate constitutional rights too, especially involving involuntary guardianships, forced medical decisions, deprivation of property, competency adjudications, restrictions on communication, civil confinement overlaps. Potential constitutional theories: procedural due process, substantive due process, unlawful deprivation of property, access to courts violation, equal protection, and First Amendment association restrictions. So it says both systems can become highly discretionary courts operating under vague best interest standards. That creates enormous room for abuse if unchecked. What actually matters strategically: the winning evidence in probate cases is usually financial reports, timelines, medical records, contradictions, hidden conflicts, fiduciary accounting, email communications, ex parte communications, expert inconsistencies, and procedural violations, not generalized corruption arguments. Probate courts hear family accusations all day long. What changes outcomes is provable fiduciary misconduct and documentable procedural abuse. Probate courts can become extraordinarily dangerous because proceedings are often sealed and loosely monitored. Elderly, infirm individuals may struggle to defend themselves. Courts heavily trust appointed actors, and emergency authority can be granted rapidly. A bad guardianship case can strip a person of speech, movement, property, medical control, family access within days. This is why probate abuse litigation often focuses heavily on due process, notice defects, competency evidence, emergency order abuse, and fiduciary conflicts and financial exploitation patterns.
I have a real problem
Sounds
with
about
ex
right.
partes, right? Because that's a violation of the 14th Amendment. Because the other person gets no due process in between the initial ex parte or
Mm-hmm.
at the initial ex parte, right? So
Mm-hmm.
somebody could walk into court, CPS, and say this child is in imminent danger or there's exigent circumstances without no proof other than I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, or right, or somebody could go in and say, "Oh my God, Tiffany threatened to kill me," and I'm not there, right? Like,
To defend yourself.
right? Why do I have to have a protective order on me for somebody else's word when you haven't even heard me? You're going to wait 5 days to hear me, or in some cases, 14 days to hear me. And then
Mm-hmm.
you're going to make a determination. How can a judge be unbiased if they've already heard only one side of the story? And that's the side they believe to begin with because they got a protective order.
Well, they're not
Right.
even unbiased. I mean, we're regardless. It doesn't matter what anybody says. Realistically, none of them are ever unbiased because the MOUs that specifically state that they're not biased, or I mean that they're not unbiased, or whatever, however you want to put it. But I mean, those literally say that we're supposed to work together. Oh, really? Well, how are you? Because they're not a. No, I hate it because they're not a judge. They're actually an administrative judge. So
Correct.
they don't have to do what a normal Article 3 judge does. And those guys get tenure. They don't care. Like the ones that get tenure, they don't care who they piss off. So that's
Right.
why they essentially will make the right decisions. Now, these quasi judicial judges, as you want to call them, put in quotations, um, they they don't. That's not how they operate. It's a business.
Yep.
100%, it's a business. They literally get paid by the state of Ohio, or by your state.
Hmm.
People don't, and I think people don't realize that either. Is that they are doing it's their job. I mean, just like CPS, it's their job. It's their job. That doesn't mean like if I'm working and somebody comes in and steals something that, well, it's not, and well, it's on me. Or somebody breaks something, that's on me. Because it was my job to make sure that they didn't do it.
Right.
Well,
Mhm.
that
So
happened.
if you have time to go to a law library, if anybody ever looks up ex parte in a legal book, it
Mhm.
will tell you that they're unethical. They know they're unethical.
Well, because you only get one side of the story on the ex parte.
Right.
That
That's,
judge is
and it says, right,
right.
judges should not be hearing ex parte orders.
Hmm.
Right. Well, it's fine to hear them, but they shouldn't be ruling on them.
It says judges should not be hearing ex parte orders. They're unethical.
Because they only hear one side of the story.
Right. That's what their own law books say.
hmm But it's crazy. But overall, though, that sounds everything she just read sounds like so many people I know actually. Even right down to the probate stuff that goes in line with Louie and Susie's story. I mean, with what they're going after, goes to Danielle's situation. It goes to Henry's situation. I mean, it goes to a whole slew of situations.
Your situation, my situation, Gunner's situation,
Yep.
everybody's.
Um, yeah, it's crazy.
And
Absolutely
people don't really
crazy.
realize how these all intertwine. And like that's what I've been trying to do, has been digging into where it all starts, how it all starts. And essentially, I took it back so far as to the municipality and like the state and how, like, where you live. Like, what do you live in? Do you live in a city? Do you live in a town? Or do you live in a municipality? Does anybody know? Do you know what the difference is? Because that determines a lot of things too. Because
So what you're saying is, because I know like different states call different places in their
mhm,
state different. Like I live in Frederick County, then there's Winchester City, and
mhm,
then there's Clark County. Got it right. Like, and then when I lived in Leesburg, it was the town of Leesburg,
mhm,
right,
yeah,
and the
yeah,
city of Sterling,
mhm.
um, and the city of Aldi, whatever. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like, so it essentially boils down to, I mean, because, like, okay, so in my state, like, we have cities, towns, municipalities, and that's all within like a county, or like that's not even, that's without even saying the county. This goes down to like legit the town you live. I'm gonna say town you live in. Like, is it a town, or is it a municipality, or is it a city? What do they claim it at? I mean, what do they categorize it as? Yeah, because like in my state, Ohio actually has all these people. But okay, my daughter was riding her scooter the other day. This is a perfect example. Riding a scooter the other day. Okay, we live in a municipality, and a municipality is given way more power than a normal town or a city. Okay, didn't know that, wasn't even aware of that until I started looking up the laws and stuff, and was like, holy crap, because the municipality is given authority to have ordinances within the place where you live. Well, under a city ordinance, um, realistically, if she's riding her scooter on the road and it's considered what was it, what's it called, a toy, it was like it's it's literally a scooter. But they said that if she was riding that in the road, and because some lady was cussing her out because she was riding it in the road, I was always taught that you don't ride stuff like that on the sidewalk. The cop, when he came here, he told me that it's illegal for her to be riding it in the road, and she's supposed to be riding it on the sidewalk. How did
Bike on the sidewalk.
What?
No,
right? And it's literally like but they had the authority to say that that is criminal for her to be riding it in the road, because because the state of Ohio has given that authority to the municipality, and until somebody argues it at the county commissioners meeting and changes it, it stays that way.
So what would have happened if you didn't have a sidewalk?
uh I don't know. Tiff, I don't know. I didn't ask that question. God damn it.
No, but I'm saying, right, like in general, because like where I live,
Yeah,
all kids ride their bikes in the road or their scooters in the road because we don't
right.
have sidewalks in our neighborhood.
Right? I mean, and my daughter, and like he told me that if she was riding to school, because I got it for her because she's 11. Okay, we live like 5-6 blocks from the school, but that's still a little bit far for her to be walking. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get her a scooter for her birthday. So got her a scooter for her birthday, so that way it's, she's always late. So I'm like, okay, it's a faster way for her to get going and get to school instead of walking. Well, when I did, and when he was here, he said to me, he said that it's considered a misdemeanor, um, but they don't normally enforce it until they start getting complaints about it. And I'm like, okay. He's like, but there is no riding of any electronics or bikes downtown. Like, you're not allowed to ride your stuff downtown. You're not allowed, like, even a bike on a sidewalk downtown. Um, and I was just like, I was blown away. And if she got into an accident, I could be held liable. And then here's even the bigger kicker: I could be held liable for the damages if she caused damage on a scooter, mind you. Um, and then I could get charged with criminal. I could be charged then. CPS could come in and say, "Hey, you abused your child because you decided to let her ride a scooter to school, and then because I told her, I was like, Graceland, I was like, just stay on the sidewalk." And she's like, Mom, the sidewalks are bumpy. I'm like, Graceland, just stay, and I'm like, whatever. I'm like, just do what you want. And he's like, well, then you could get in trouble for, what was it? Contributing to the delinquency of a minor. I shit you not. Yeah. Contributing to the delinquency of a minor. And I'm like, you have got to be, I'm like, did you just, I'm like, yeah, he blew my mind that day. I was like, I couldn't even believe it. I was like, as far as I knew, you weren't. No, but it goes back into the municipal. If you're in a town or if you're in a city, if you're a municipality, which one has the authority? And it's like, well, wait a minute here. I'm like, this is not. How is this? What are you guys talking about? I'm like, I just couldn't even believe it. I was so flabbergasted. By the time he left here, I was like on the computer looking up all these ordinances, all these laws. I'm like, bullshit. What's Darren? Darren, you're muted, just so you know.
I just said, wow, wow, wow. It's crazy. They just got your nuts in a sling no matter what, really.
Right? And I was just like, what? I was like, I couldn't even believe it. I was like, you've got to be kidding. I was like, she's 11. He's like, well, you're awfully brave letting her go on to ride to school on a scooter. What do you mean? She gonna walk? Y'all don't provide transportation, so what do you mean? Like,
yeah, you can really talk about it. Where's the damn seatbelts in the school buses?
Right? I mean, and she isn't even privy to ride a school bus because we live, quote unquote, within 1 mile of the school. So she doesn't even have a bus. They don't even offer busing.
So I just asked Google if Frederick County was a municipality, and it said no, Frederick County, Virginia is a county. Well, I know it's a county, but that's not what I asked.
You have to, well, you probably have to ask about the individual town.
But it's not a town.
The individual
because
name.
there's two different.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Right, like you go across one bridge, you're in the city. You go across another bridge, you're back in the county. So it's really weird.
But what's the name of the city that's in the county that
there is no city in the county.
What the hell?
That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
It's divided in 2 sections. You either live in Frederick County or you live in Winchester City. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Right, like there's no town of Winchester, like Leesburg. It's not just Loudoun County. It's the town of Leesburg, the town of Middleburg.
Yeah, because they're usually supposed to be like, it's supposed to be divided into like subdivisions for like political bullshit. But but I thought so. There's no towns there's no cities in Frederick County.
No.
Okay.
So, like I said, you live either or. You live in the county or you live in the city, period. The city of Winchester, or you live in Frederick County.
And that's where it gets confusing, too, because, like, I grew up what I consider in the country, okay, but we lived outside of the county limits, or the city limits, I mean, but I still lived but the town that I lived in was still called Piqua. You see what I'm saying? Like, but I was out of city limits, but the city limits but I was still considered to be in Piqua. Well,
when our mail comes in, it doesn't say Frederick County, Virginia. It says Winchester, Virginia. So I don't know, because I'm telling you, if you, like when I said, hey, I might run for mayor. And they were like, well, do you live in Winchester City or do you live in Frederick County? And I said, I live in Frederick County, but it's considered Winchester. No, it's Frederick County. You have to live in the city of Winchester to run for anything for Winchester.
Oh, well, we're going to find that out right now.
So I'm like, well, I'm confused then.
Yeah, because that's it. I mean,
why am I writing Winchester, Virginia on everything that I send out as my legal address, right?
Yeah, that would, because that makes no sense.
Thank you. And then they said, oh, it goes by your zip code too, because we got 4 different zip codes. 3 of them are the county zip codes.
Oh my god.
Wow.
I mean, because like I have a different zip. Oh yeah, because I have a different zip code than Piqua. I mean, we live in a different city, so I mean, mine's different than Piqua, but but the county doesn't have its own zip code.
The county has 3 different zip codes.
Yeah, see, so that
22602, 22603, and 22604. Winchester has 1. 22601.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so that would be whoever said that. I think they're feeding me a bunch of bullshit.
Well, I do too, because I'm not liked in this town.
I live in Frederick County, Virginia, and
Yes.
my mail, when I receive it, says Winchester, as Winchester, Virginia. We're gonna say it says Winchester, Virginia, as my address. How would I not able to run for anything in Winchester?
Just put office, any office.
We're getting ready to get Tiff on a campaign of some sort.
Oh boy, they don't want me on a campaign.
They might not want you on there, but the people do.
I'm
Independent
sure they do.
subdivisions completely independent from the county. Okay, so it says because in Virginia, your mailing address and your legal residency/jurisdiction are not always the same thing. Winchester is an independent city. Under Virginia law, independent cities are separate political jurisdictions, completely independent from counties. Frederick County surrounds Winchester geographically, but legally they are separate governments. So the key distinction is, can you have a Winchester mailing address through USPS but legally reside in Frederick County? And if you legally reside in Frederick County, you generally cannot run for Winchester City office unless you meet the city's residency requirements. The USPS does not determine political residency, the government does. A Winchester, Virginia mailing address is often just a postal designation because Winchester is the regional post office hub for surrounding Frederick County areas. For example, your taxes may go to Frederick County, your voter registration may be in Frederick County, your school district may be in Frederick County, your property may physically sit outside Winchester city limits, and your polling place may be county based instead of city based. That means you're legally a county resident even though your mail says Winchester. This happens constantly in Virginia because independent cities operate separately from counties. Virginia is unusual in this regard.
Imagine that.
Mm-hmm.
I told you that's what they told me.
So it says, the real question is, which political subdivision am I dociled in and registered to vote in? That is what determines eligibility for city council, school board, sheriff, commissioner, mayor, local constitutional offices.
Yeah, because there's like 6 to 10 districts for the county where there's only 2 for the city.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you, what?
Mine's Red Bud.
Red Bud.
But
Is that where you vote?
I'm in the red boat. I'm in the red Bud district. Yes.
Red Bud District.
Red Bud.
Is a magisterial district in Frederick County. Our person is one of the voting governing districts used by County Board of Supervisors. That actually supports the point you were making earlier. If you live in the Red Bug District, you are almost certainly a Frederick County resident, voting in Frederick County's elections and represented by Frederick County Supervisor, not a Winchester city. So even if your mailing address is Winchester, your legal political jurisdiction still may be Frederick County, specifically the Red Bud Magisterial District. Red Bud Magisterial District. That means you can generally run for Frederick County offices tied to Red Bud District residency, but not Winchester City offices unless you legally reside within Winchester City limits. This is why people get confused in Virginia. USPS doesn't equal municipality residency. Zip codes don't equal city boundaries. And mailing addresses don't equal voting jurisdiction. The real controlling factors are voter registration, GIS parcel location, taxation, and jurisdictional boundaries. Frederick County literally surrounds Winchester geographically, but Winchester is an independent city under Virginia law. Why do you got to be so damn complicated?
See what I mean?
Oh, God.
And y'all thought it was me. No.
I just think it has to be complicated to match your personality. Okay.
Tiff is very straightforward. There ain't no complication there. Follow the fucking Constitution or get the fuck out. That's Tiff way. That's Tiff.
Well,
yeah.
She
I'm
makes
gonna go get some goldfish. I'll be right back.
Yeah. So, Becca, what do you think? Can a lot of people use this information, do you think? I mean, depending on their states first, they want to look into that, right? They want to look into all aspects of it, really.
I mean, really, I mean, it boils down. I mean, you're gonna have to, because that tells you where jurisdiction you fall under. And you know, the county commissioner meetings, like the Justice Saxon and stuff like that she does, like those are really good things to do. I mean, because it's I mean, this is where you live, so I mean, we want change for everybody everywhere, but realistically, just because the federal government says this doesn't mean the states are going to follow it, because they obviously are sovereign, and yes, it has to align with the Constitution, and federal law. If it is, if there's a state law that's contradictory to the federal law, then yeah, they have to go by federal trump state. But even if, because like states all the time make these stupid freaking laws that nobody knows. I don't even think they even know what they're even signing when they do sign it. I just think it just all sits around and they just sit and gallivant with each other and just pass these retarded laws that nobody gives a shit about. And they essentially just kind of like, yeah, we're just going to pass that. Don't even think about the repercussions of what this law could do, like the legitimacy of how it can look in practice. I don't think they look at the practical reality of it. I think they just look at yeah, this looks good on paper. I don't give a shit what it looks like on paper. I want to know how it's going to look in practice. And looking in practice, I mean, you need to go and you need to figure out like where you live, what you're doing, like, like we just figured out for Tiff, because like I'm still confused, but whatever. I'm still confused, but I mean, I kind of made my brain hurt a little bit. Like, what is this?
You get the brain pain.
Like, why? What do you mean? Like, and it even says it's unusual in Virginia. Like, it's unusual. Unusual in Virginia. Yeah. So, needless to say, I would, me, myself, and I mean, because I took it clear back to there. I was like, because I got to look at this, because I'm like city ordinances. I'm like, okay. I'm like, because I have a pool, so I want to put up a fence. I will have a pool that's 48 inches tall. And they told me that I have to put up a fence. My landlord said I can't put up a fence, but I have to put up a fence in order to have my pool.
Yep. Yeah, you have to.
So,
don't they have those railings that go around the top of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that should suffice for that, right?
You would think. And I'm sitting here, and it's like, oh no, you're gonna have to have a privacy fence. And my landlord's like, no, you can't put a fence up. What? So I spent $400 on a pool that I can't use. Thanks, guys. That's real freaking nice of you.
Well, you can always go get one of them little pools that I got.
And then you can get stuck in it.
Yeah, then don't try to dive into it. My legs got stuck last year. I went in and my legs were like stuck on the top.
Oh shit.
But yeah, and I will tell you, most jurisdictions, if you have a pool and it's bigger than a kiddie pool, they do want you to have a fence, and it's not just for your protection, but it's for right. We had a 2-year-old drown in a pool,
Mhm.
of a neighbor's pool, and they didn't have a fence up.
Well, here's my thing is that okay, it's literally 4 foot tall, like it's up to my chest, like it's like high. So I mean, if this and you have to have a ladder to get in and out of it. So it's not like it's you know what I mean? Like and if the ladder's removed, then you know what I mean? Like if some kid is gonna literally climb into this thing, like it's gonna take a lot to climb into this damn thing. Like it's tall.
Kids will run around town, jump in go pool hopping.
Yep.
Go pool hopping, you catch somebody getting shot with a BB gun.
Just
Right.
saying.
So Becca, you know how you fix that situation?
What?
You buy a damn house, and then you can tell them to kiss your ass
I know.
because it's the private property.
I know. I'm waiting for it.
Town
I'm
code
ready.
enforcement will make you come around. They will make you force you to put a fence around that pool.
And
But-
even then, you can build a makeshift fence, right? Because you can go get some of them little green posts and some chicken wire.
Oh no, no. According to the city ordinances, it can't be that.
Why?
So it's covered.
Yeah, I don't know. They literally because I have like I it's cheaper to buy like you said chicken wire and the green post and like it would just be easier to do it that way. Oh no, it has to be privacy fence and I'm like why?
Never heard.
You want a fence to keep them out? I get a fence to keep them out, and then you're gonna bitch about what kind of fence I put up like. That
Yeah,
makes
Texas isn't that strict because my dad's got a pool and he doesn't have a privacy fence. He just got one of them little black ones that if you fuck around and trip on that motherfucker, you're going to the emergency room with spears in your ass.
like it makes no sense. I don't understand that, and it's like there has to be like specifications have to be met for a fence, and I'm like you can't have them so many. It has to be so many things apart, like so many inches apart. Like it can't be over so many inches apart. Like at the
Yeah.
bottom and at the bottom, it can't be like over 36-inch gap at the bottom. Like what?
So the kids can't get in it.
Well, I know so the kids can't get in there, but like that's just stupid. Like not even you can't even put up a chicken wire. Like climb on the top of that. I dare you. Like Tiff said, you're gonna be at the emergency room. If you're dumb enough to fuck around and find out, then I guess you know what you deserve to be there in the first place. Kids are dumb.
Yep. Good old kids.
We all know kids are dumb. Kids don't have any common sense. And Darren and I have come to the conclusion that there is no common sense anymore. So, yep, I can see that all happening.
Yeah. So see if you can get that information about the malicious prosecution so that everybody knows the difference. Even for the criminal, because we do have some parents that are being criminally charged, and then once their cases are over, all the charges are being dropped. That's bullshit. And then I want it too because I'm going to forward it to a couple of the people I'm working with here in Virginia because they too fall under civil and criminal malicious prosecution.
So, do you want the ones for probate too?
We don't have probate here in Virginia, but you
Okay.
can send it to me just so that I have it in case I do deal with somebody with probate because we're not a probate state.
Gotcha. Because you're a Commonwealth state.
Correct. As you can see, it's a very difficult state. Hell, they can't even tell you the exact bullshit about the lines, okay, in the districts.
Oh, God. They still can't make up their mind where they want them to be?
No. So I'm going to put my little 3-year-old who's going to turn into a damn goldfish cracker one day because that's practically the only snack he eats. Thank God it's not junk, but still. He's just off the chain. Fish, Mom. I want fish, Mom. Every day it's like a whole bag of goldfish.
Those things get expensive.
Well, it's not that they're expensive, but damn, can't we eat something else like some cheese and crackers or something or some popcorn or something besides goldfish?
No.
Yeah, but the good thing is he does not eat candy. He's not a cake eater. He's not even really a big candy eater. He doesn't eat a lot of junk food. I will say that, and he's a solid little dude. I'll say that though.
That's
All
just
them damn goldfish crackers.
Yes.
he's getting his protein and he's getting his muscle up.
Yeah. I don't know. So I
Okay.
guess tomorrow, I gotta work tomorrow, but I'm also gonna look up, because I know I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna have to look up, and figure out how to get people once their cases are unfounded
Mm,
and they want to put you on this bullshit 3-year bullshit in case there's another call. Yeah, we need to learn how to expunge that shit here or everywhere. So once I
Okay.
get done working, hopefully we can talk about that tomorrow night. Thank
Yes.
you, Becca.
You're
And I
welcome.
appreciate you doing that. And I do want to give you all the credit for that because I'm going to tell you what the emotional shit I dealt with today, I couldn't even concentrate.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. It's a lot. I mean,
It is
especially
a lot.
when somebody's fucking with your kid, and then you're trying to do anything and everything possible to, you know, do the right thing, and they literally want to shove something like that, and I would have told them to shove it up their ass
yes.
because that's not. I mean, like, what more do you want from somebody? You do the right thing, and you're still wrong somehow.
You're right.
Magic. You take your kid to the hospital. You take them to the doctor because they got hurt, and then now you fear to take your child to the doctor. Like that's what that literally is setting that up for.
Mhm.
Being afraid to take your kid to the doctor because that's what it's coming to.
Yep. And all the reality is just that they want your kid. Period for money. Period.
Mhm.
That's the end of this. That's the end result. And they'll stop at nothing to get them.
I'm gonna see if I can. What did Tiff say that was? That was what it was called. Was she just talking about the mali-
Malicious prosecution.
no, the thing about
Expunction.
that one. What you wanted to talk about tomorrow? Oh, the
Okay.
staying on the plan, right? The safety plan.
No. So you know how parents will get letters that'll say, well, we're unsuing you now because the allegations made against you were unfounded.
Right.
But even though they were unfounded, we're going to keep this case for 3 years in case we get another call about this child.
Way.
Well, the only way, from what I understand, and I don't want to put too much out there because I don't know for sure, so don't take this literally, is that you have to file a petition with the court to make the court expunge it. So that 3-year limit that they want to keep you on, they can't do that. I'll send you the information too. So you know what? I'm just gonna let you do it because I got to work tomorrow. I don't have that as much free time right now as I did before. So I'm gonna send you the information that I got,
Okay.
and then we can discuss that tomorrow if you want to come on for that too. Because I'm exhausted.
Sounds good. I know. I gotta get moving, and I definitely gotta pee.
Okay, well, Darren, we can end the show, and we will see everybody here tomorrow night. What Becca's gonna do the research on that too for me.
Yeah, just send that to me, Tiff, so I can look it up.
I'll send it to you right now.
Okay.
Just slam it up. Fill her up.
That's right.
All right, everybody. We'll see you here tomorrow night, same time, same place, doing the same thing. Until then, be good to yourself and be good to others. You know who used to say that?
Yeah.
Rogers.
Jerry Springer.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yep, he would say, be good to yourself and be good to others. So that's what you all need to do. So until then, oh, and make sure you check out Fostering Reality's new stuff. It's pretty badass. We'll take a look at that tomorrow night too. It's pretty badass.
Okay.
Here's one of his tunes.
Thoughts are gone, thoughts don't care. Ghost in my head, thoughts that tear. F941239 branded on my file before I was 5 years clear. They all said the same shit. Better not tell, kid, it'll get way worse in here. Even the real kids whispering threats while their parents steer. Born in a folder, no crib, just a case number and a hearing date. Pills crushed in my juice, whispered waves, turning toddlers into a court case. F943 anxiety, F90 separation ink, they used to label me. Now those same codes turned into calibers, letters load the AR-15. 5156 for the panic attacks, not for the snakes, 223 for the mess they made. Leave me alone! Mrs. Perfect Christian home, still feel your husband's hands on my neck. Leave me alone, night shift worker, keys rattling while you're proud of her. Leave me alone, caseworker with the crocodile tears. You got paid while I starved through it all. Starved through it all. We the invisibles, aged out the system. No feelings left, just facts and mathematics. Hypervigilant, heart rate, flat rifle, fluent, pistol, fully automatic. Grown now, pulling up, packing. Only lesson we kept is right from wrong. Now wrong, getting corrected. 30-round hymns in a real dark song. You built a monster, set in trauma, now the monster got drums and a mask. Every face got a name, every name got an address, every address getting dead. Ever one fresh meat, still crying for mama, think reunification real. Level 2, bounce like trash, learning roles in every house they make you feel. Level 3, chameleon bag, never unpacked, visible just enough to eat. Level gray, master read a lie in the blink, route around rules in the street. Level 5, invisible state, on ghost file too thick for any worker to read. Sleeping fragments, exits mapped, made it out so low they know you a different breed. We the invisibles, age out the system, no feelings left, just facts and mathematics. Hypervigilant, heart rate flat, rifle fluent, pistol fully automatic. Grown now, pulling up, packing. Only lesson we kept is right from wrong. Now wrong, getting corrected. 30-round hymns in a real dark song. F94 through a 5 pop 6. F93 to a full auto switch. F94 to reactive. That's why the AR twitch. 9 millis for the snakes that smile in your face. 223s for the nights they said this hurts me more. While they finish the chase. Every code they wrote, every caliber, every lobby came around. Every better not tell turned into a reason. We outside right now. Seen kids get walked out the back at 3 a.m. Staff pockets, fat, no sound. One phone call, file closed, another invisible. Never found. They pray we don't delock forever or read the barrel in despair. But the ones who survive remember every smell, every room, every stare. Thoughts are gone, thoughts aren't care. Ghost in my head, thoughts that tear. We're the invisible. Age down, fully loaded. No fear, strapped heavy, heart on zero. Just a pulse and a plan. Right from wrong is all we know. And wrong fit to meet the whole fam. Pulling up quiet, windows down. 30-round lullaby. Invoice for every tear. Every touch, every read, better not tell. This is the correction. Pred's gone dead. 2, 2, 3, good night.
We know it's all about the money, we know they lie, we know this is corruption. Does CPS know what they are doing to the children?